Welcome to Living in Moments of Obedience. I'm so glad you came back today. I want to fill in some dots and fill in some blanks about my HeeBeeGeeBees and my journey with the HeeBeeGeeBees. There's more to that story. So I thought I would kind of fill that in right now. So if you watched that moment before, this is between the period of 1987 and 1990. In 1987, I was under a lot of stress and a lot of things were happening in my work world. And I started suffering from panic attacks and claustrophobia, which brought on more panic attacks. And in 1990, I accepted the Lord. But in 1988, I resigned from that job. It became impossible to get to work. And even when I got to work, the stress of it and even the doors that closed at meetings would kind of make me nervous and anxious, and that anxiety would kind of kick in. So anyway, I quit the job, and then I started selling clothing and jewelry and accessories, etc., from my home. I set up a little boutique there. And then I set up a boutique out on Long Island, and this is what was my new plan. So putting that plan together, I set aside, some finances and got myself kind of straight through 1990. Through May of 1990 was going to be the point at which I was going to really need to make some decisions and new choices if that plan wasn't working out. Now, needless to say, it was very hard to replace a technology income on Wall Street with a side hustle of clothing from my house. So here we are now. It is now 1990 and it's May. I've also come to a place where I knew that I needed to accept the Lord, that I wasn't going to get any further until I did that. And so I did. I accepted the Lord and just found myself in a whole new place, in a new frequency, if you will. So now I get a phone call in 1990, in May, from my colleague, a former colleague that I worked with at my job. And I hadn't spoken to him probably since I left, since I resigned in 1988. And I get this phone call, and he says, "Barry, are you working these days? Are you interested in working? Are you working? What are you doing?" And so he began to tell me that he was now working with some other people that we work with that are now at a new banking organization. And they were looking for a consultant to come in to help them on some projects there and kind of sorting through some things. So whatever it was, he says, "I was in a meeting yesterday and your name came up as a great person to work on this project." And so here I am here I am sitting in my house, May 1990, needing a plan. So I was like, yes, I'm interested. So now my challenge is, of course, because I have taken myself out of all of the stressful environments, to minimize my heebie-jeebies. So now, I'm thinking, well, I'm going to go back to work now. And I know, though, at this point, I know I have the Lord. I know He's walking me through this. So they give me the address of where the place is located. And he kind of described it a little, so I realized I could drive to work. So it's in the Wall Street area. It's downtown. So now I drive straight down the West Side Highway, all the way down into the Wall Street area. And there's parking lots on the right side of the street. Now, that no longer exists today because that whole area is totally different. So I park in the parking lot. I walk across the street, go into this little block, and I go into the third floor of this building. I drive to work, park in a parking lot, walk across the street, and go into this little building. Now, at this point in time, that's what I needed to be able to do, to go back to work. And it was like the Lord had me by the hand, knowing what I needed. And He knew how to get that to me. And He was like, "Barry, I got this." That was probably the only technology job at that on Wall Street that was in a little building in a third floor. It was, but it didn't matter because whatever it was, the Lord knew how to get me to it. He knew how to get me through it. And I'll have a lot of moments that actually came from that particular job that I'm going to be sharing in the future. But I just really wanted to complete that picture there because I still had the residual effects of the panic attacks. I still had those concerns, but it really didn't matter to the Lord that He knew how to get me where He needed me to be. And so I pray that my moments are an encouragement to you, an example to you of what the Lord has done in my life. So I pray that you live all of your moments in obedience and that you have a wonderfully blessed day. And don't forget to like this video, subscribe to my channel, my YouTube channel, and come back often.